like now.
What is going on? Yeah, Niza, right at this Nizown time. What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Baltimore Colts Show, episode 5. It's Wild Card Weekend, which is fun. Always a fun thing to talk about. Um, yeah, Wild Card Weekend. Casey, you excited for Wild Card Weekend? And we're talking about the season in review for the Ravens and the Colts, which makes me sad. But anyway,
I'm excited, but I'm not excited.
yeah,
Like at the same time.
it's a weird concept. I get it. I get it. It's a weird concept. But we will be right back right after this.
I'm just gonna let you know again. We didn't hear the music.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
I don't know why though. I don't know why. I have to figure out why it's not playing anymore. Anyway, just hum it again this week, and I'll figure out why it's not playing because it's weird. I don't know why is it not playing. That's weird. That's weird.
You have your headphones plugged in?
Yes, but I always did. I always had my headphones plugged in.
I don't know. I don't know.
But do you know? That's the question.
I mean, I think you should try it again without them plugged in and see if it works.
All right. We'll be right back. just gonna play it and see what happens.
Kind of, a little bit.
Kinda. It's a lot lower than usual. I don't know why, but it is.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like it's usually even in my headphones it's lower. Like for some reason. I don't know why. It's a weird concept. Full plus. So, But anyway, it's time for the Baltimore Colts show. Wild Card Weekend edition and the sad season in review edition. I know you're probably like, that's a video on the screen. It is. I'm still in the process of remaking the logo since I lost all my files a couple weeks ago. And I lost like everything, so I'm still trying to get my files back, all of them, slash recreate all of them. So this won't be an issue next week, unless I forget again. Then it probably will. But anyway, let's jump into it. Should we do season in review first or Wild Card Weekend first?
Let's do just get out of the way the season in review because they're both not that great.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess let's talk about the Ravens first. I guess. Just simply a year of inconsistencies. I felt like this year, there was so much more potential than I think they ever really showed this year with all the talent because they did have a lot more talent at wide receiver, but I was under the impression that basically there were a lot of one-trick ponies at wide receiver. And what I mean by that is guys that can run down the field but can't truly run, like as Rabbit may say in a teen interview, crisp routes. And I feel like they started to get better with that, but that obviously takes time. So there was a lot of talent on this team, especially with Steve Smith. And unfortunately, he's going to retire too, so that kind of sucks. I really hope he took Kamar Aiken under his wing and kind of taught him a little bit because to me, they're very similar. Kamar Aiken's bigger than he is, but they're very similar. They're very sure-handed. They're not afraid to go across the middle. Kamar Aiken, I think, is a little more quiet than Steve Smith. I think the entire league is a little more quiet than Steve Smith. But I hope he took him under his wing because I think that would definitely help. I hope they get Kamar Aiken more involved next year because I think Kamar Aiken is a very solid receiver and proved that he could be a number one receiver even with a backup quarterback. So it kind of sucks that he kind of had to be in the background a little bit more this year because of that, because of Steve Smith returning, which is fine. But I hope he at least was able to learn a little bit in the process. But yeah, I think he's the best route runner that the Ravens have. On the defensive end, the Ravens defense was number one for a while. I think they were the best defense, period. Um, but the main issue was when one player went down, that entire defensive unit started to struggle. And I love to call them number one defense all the time because they were ranked number one at one point and they were a really good defense. But I don't know, can you really be a number one defense if that one player goes down and you kind of struggle? You know, you kind of just open up the floodgates pretty much a lot of times. In coverage. So I don't know. Like I think this season for the Ravens, to me, it was a disappointment just because they were so close. They were right there with them winning the division, even though they went through a 4-game losing streak, which I don't think's ever happened. I don't think anyone's ever lost 4 games in a row and made the playoffs. And if it's very rare if it has happened. But I honestly just feel like it's just frustrating. It was just a frustrating season, ups and downs. But it was one of those seasons where it was like they can't be that bad because they never got blown out. You know, they always, even if they were losing by one possession or less, or at the most, I think it was 2 against the Patriots. But I mean, obviously they have a lot of work to do in the offseason. I would love to see them draft another corner. I like Tavon Young, but I think Sharice Wright isn't consistent enough. I think he'll be a better number 4 corner than in the slot and potentially going to number 2 when someone gets injured. So I hope they do something with that. I love Jimmy Smith. He's a top shutdown corner that's never going to get the credit that a top shutdown corner does. But overall, I think the season was just kind of upsetting there at the end. Like it was so close. They could have freaking won the division, which is crazy to even think about with a 4-game losing streak. Now to the Colts, I didn't get to see as much Colts games this year. Didn't feel like, but it seemed like to me they kind of just underachieved. Like they shouldn't have been nearly as bad as they were. They have the offensive weapons to be a really good offense, and I think at times they show that they can be a really good offense. But I think still with the Colts, the Achilles heel is always their defense. I think next year they need to look into drafting some good defensive players, maybe just revamping the scheme or something because it's obviously not working. And I know they have some good talent. I know they have like a Corey Redding, Vontae Davis. Really, like I said, I think I said it last week. If they can put somebody else with Vontae Davis, I think they'll be fine because I think their front 7 isn't bad. I think it's the coverage behind it that's really bad. So I think if they put somebody with Vontae Davis, they need to keep Vontae Davis at all costs. I don't know if he's a free agent or not, but they need to keep him for as long as they can and need to pick up another corner either in free agency or through the draft. And they need to get him early. Quit drafting offensive linemen. The line is never going to get good. As we've seen with the Colts, they can draft offensive linemen and still not be good. So I think they need to focus on the defense a little bit because Andrew Luck can extend the play if he needs to, even with a bad offensive line. But overall for the Colts, I felt like kind of in the same way with the Ravens. It was kind of just a disappointment. I think the Colts have a lineage of being good, so it's kind of one of those situations where it's hard to see them struggle. It's weird to see them struggle. It's not something that we're used to seeing, and now it's been 2 years in a row. It's all the Patriots' fault. It's been 2 years in a row, and it just neither team has really found themselves. I don't think yet since Deflategate. But Casey, season in review for the Ravens and the Colts.
I guess I'll start with the Ravens because they are the Baltimore and the Baltimore Colts show. I don't necessarily think the Ravens are bad. I just think, kind of like you said, just the whole team needs to kind of work on some things. And I don't think with either the Colts or Baltimore that they're in general a bad team. It's just certain aspects of the puzzle just are not sticking together like they should. Also, I think you could say with the Colts too, but I think with Baltimore, they're in a tough division too. Anytime you have a divisional game with any of those teams, it's not going to be an easy game.
Even the Browns, oddly enough, Like we
Yeah,
we we cry. We always like make fun of the Browns, but like if the Browns don't show up any other time, they show up in those divisional games.
yeah. So that that kind of is a is tough for Baltimore too. But yeah, I really don't know because I kind of like DJ. I didn't see as many Baltimore games as I would have liked to. I get to see more of them than Colts games because I'm closer to Baltimore than I am to Indianapolis. But still, I wasn't able to see as many as I would have liked to. Because I feel like when they play good, they do play really good. Um, it's just both of our teams were kind of need work. As far as the Colts, oh god, the past 2 years have been so painful. I feel like it, in both of the past 2 years, we've gone into it, all the quote experts, picked us to go really far and be really good and make it to the playoffs and whatever. Some people even said we would make it to the Super Bowl, and then just fell apart. I mean, on paper, we should be really good. We have all the talent. We have, really good wide receivers. We do need work on our defense.
The
More,
running game's even stepped up for the Colts, and especially this year, I felt like from what I saw of them, I felt like the running game looked a lot better than usual.
yeah. I
But the issue is Frank Gore can't be. He's not going to be there forever.
Yeah, I still think we definitely need to either draft another, running back or sign somebody. Just because, like DJ just said, Frank Gore is not going to always be there, and I still think I still feel like he hasn't performed to the potential that I feel like we put on him. And that's more just coming from when we initially signed him. There was so much hype behind Frank Gore, and then he just sucked the first season. It was terrible. It was real bad. But we definitely need some help with our running game. It has gotten better this season, but and then that goes to our offensive line. We just, oh god, we're terrible. If we could figure out our line, I think Andrew Luck could, complete more passes. We can get better, running yards, and it would be all in all just a better, season. And then again with our defense, we definitely need to work on our coverage because we have defense. We just forget to play defense sometimes a lot when we need to stop somebody from scoring, which is generally when defense is on the field is when you need to stop the other team from scoring, and we don't, which is why other teams beat us because they get more points because it's, I don't know. Hey, look who decided.
Wow.
This is the
Wow.
Baltimore Colts show. This isn't the Baltimore Colts Chiefs show.
Of Kingdoms.
Of Kingdoms.
Justin, I don't know if like we were talking about we were doing a season review. We hadn't got to the picks yet. Since this was going to be a shorter show anyway, and the Ravens and the Colts are out of the playoffs, sadly. We decided to do a season in review. Do you want to do a season in review for those two teams? Do you want to add the Chiefs in? I know they're not done yet, but kind of expectations, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we can do that.
All right. So thoughts on the Ravens and the Colts this year?
The Ravens, I thought they had a better season than they had last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wish they would have
implode.
Yeah, I kind of wish they would have made the playoffs. Maybe beat out the Steelers because the Steelers, they don't need to be in the playoffs. I mean, seriously, they just don't need to be in the playoffs.
They're just gonna lose in the first round anyway.
Well, if they did make it, and the Ravens did make it, I think they could probably beat out beat out the Patriots.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish they would have made it. And the Colts, they play pretty mediocre this year. I have more expectations for them, but it's just they did not do too hot at all.
Hey, we were 8-8.
Same
Same as the Ravens.
Same as the Ravens. Yeah, but that's better than what they did last year, though. Also.
Yeah.
I felt like too. I think Joe didn't get a lot of credit for how he played this year because he turned the ball over more than usual, but he was also forced to throw the ball more than he is used to. This was his best season as far as yards are concerned. He threw for over 4,000 yards, which he hasn't done in his entire career, which is nice to see. So I hope that continues. But I don't like to put too much pressure on Joe because I feel like the Ravens haven't put Joe in a position to be like a top flight quarterback. He hasn't had the greatest talent at receiver, except for I think this year was probably the best. But then again, they're still meshing. They're still meshing together. Steve Smith was out a lot of last year. Rashard Perriman was out a lot of last year. As far as the Chiefs, though, I guess we should talk about real quick before we get into the playoffs.
We had a pretty dominant season. We only lost 4 games, was it? Yeah, we lost 4 games, which I don't want to talk about those. That first loss, who was that first loss to? I can't remember who the first loss was to. I know we.
The one thing about the Chiefs, though, and I told Casey this last week. I thought, or not last week. I think it was a couple weeks ago when we were talking about the Chiefs and if they were going to make the playoffs. I felt like the Chiefs' losses outweighed their wins to me. They looked really bad in some of their losses.
Yeah, some of them were really close. Also, like the what game was it? With the Titans, we should have beat the Titans. We blew that lead. We also had quite a bit of comebacks. Our first game, that big comeback, we were the Chargers were beating us really bad, and then we did that really big comeback. We had that really big thriller against the Broncos in Denver. That with that field goal, that was crazy.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Tyreek Hill, he's become one of my favorite players for Kansas City. With all his returns he's been getting, he did 2 returns for a touchdown this year. But they're pretty much the same. They keep their games are so close. They don't really keep have separations in their games. They don't have a big lead for some of their games. But I don't know. We had a good season, and I'm kind of optimistic to see what we do in the playoffs. Hopefully, we can at least win a game. Hopefully, maybe
got that first round bye though.
Yeah, we got that first round bye. Yeah,
shout out to the car breaking down.
Yeah. So hopefully, maybe we can win that game and then go to the conference championship. And hopefully, it's not the Patriots because I don't really want to face the Patriots in Foxborough. But I have some I'm optimistic for my Chiefs though.
All right. Casey, do you want to talk about the Chiefs or you want to jump into the wild card games?
I just want Travis Kelce to not have any stupid penalties.
Oh yeah, that penalty he had when he threw his.
Yeah,
that was stupid.
Why would you do that? I don't know. It depends on who they face.
We're probably gonna be playing the Steelers. I think it might be the Steelers. I hope it's the Dolphins though. I hope it's the Dolphins.
Yeah, so we can whoop you.
Oh no. Oh man.
All right, let's jump into wild card weekend. We got the Oakland Raiders going up against the Houston Texans. The Raiders are nothing without Derek Carr. The reason I say this is they've been talented. I said this last week. They've been talented before, but the main issue was the quarterback. And it's amazing what a good quarterback will do for you. And I don't think that. I think it's Matt McGloin. I think he got hurt last week. I don't know who they're starting.
It's going to be Connor Cook.
Oh, it's Connor Cook. Oh, Connor Cook wins. GG.
Yeah, he actually played the last few minutes of the Denver against Denver.
Yeah, I knew McGloin got hurt, and I saw Connor Cook come in. I don't know. I think that's a lot of pressure though for Connor Cook. I love Connor Cook, Michigan State guy. Love you, bro. But I love that man. I do. Just as I love Kirk Cousins. But I think it's a lot of pressure on him. It is a lot of pressure. That's your first start in the playoffs. That's wild. That's crazy. But I think this could be a good proving game for him. If he needs it to be against a really good defense in Houston. But I'm gonna go with Houston. I don't think the Raiders are gonna be the same team without um Derek Carr. Just not. I'm going with the Texans. The Savage, baby. I mean, they got a Savage at quarterback, people. And you know it's tough. You know, I'm going for Tom Savage and the Houston Texans. Justin.
I want to go with the Houston Texans also. I mean, I pretty much agree with what you're saying there about with their quarterback situation. Their rookie from Michigan State. Even though I like Connor Cook at Michigan State, but he was
yeah, we see how valuable he was this year.
Yeah, but it was just so much. It's going to be so much pressure on him, And I think isn't it? No. I think it's in
just in Houston.
It's in Houston, yeah. I don't think that. And that Houston defense is pretty good. But, they're missing a few players also. So, I mean, they're kind of both in the same situation. But I think it might be a close game. I guess we'll just see. But hopefully Crabtree has a good game. Hopefully Amari Cooper, because I like them two players there. And
you like their scheme of things.
Yeah, I like their scheme of things. I love what they do there. Yeah, I love their scheme of things there.
All right. I got him flustered with that. Casey.
So wait, the winner of this game goes on to play the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. See, that's where, man, the fan in me still wants the Raiders to win, and I feel like they can if they. I feel like they have to go for shorter passes and rely more on running. Just because, I feel like Houston does have a good defense, but if you can get Jay Ajayi some running room, he can go. No, not.
Latavius Murray.
Yeah,
Latavius Murray.
I think both of those games are going to need a lot of running, but if you can give them space to run, I think they can do it. The reason I say short passes is just because we are relying on Connor Cook, and it looks like McGloin might be at 100% for the game, so I don't really know what they're going to do there. Either way, I don't see them being able to do a lot of long passes just because they haven't played much, so they're going to be rusty with all that. At the same time, I feel like the Texans have a better chance of beating the Patriots. I hate this game so much. I'm going with Oakland. I'm going with Oakland.
The Raider.
The Raider.
Next, we got the Detroit Lions going up against Seattle in Seattle. Tough one for me because I don't think Seattle's as good as they look like they are. Or as people would say they are. I don't think they even look that great to me. But I'm going with Detroit. I would love to see Detroit go all the way. Detroit's one of those teams that I just like Detroit. I think Matt Stafford's having a heck of a year, which is great for him. And like it's kind of one of those situations where the storyline would be so great if they were to win the Super Bowl. A team that was once 0-16, going to the Super Bowl with the guy they drafted when they were 0-16. I just feel like that would be really cool to see. I would love to see Matt Stafford go off in this game. He won't go off because it's the Seattle defense. But, I don't know. Let's see how good that high-powered offense is in Detroit. I do think it has helped Detroit to not have Calvin Johnson. I think we said something about this early on in the season. But I think it's helped them a lot, having to spread it out to Marvin Jones and Golden Tate. And guys like that, Bolden, Ebron, all those guys, having to spread it out a little bit more. But I'm going with Detroit. I'm going with the fan in me. The fan in me says the Detroit Lions. Justin.
You know what? I'm going to go with the 12th man here. I am going to go with the who they facing again? Who they facing? Yeah, the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to go with the Seahawks here. I can't believe I forgot who they're facing. And, their quarterback was on my fantasy team this year. I can't believe I just forgot who they're facing. I'm going to go with them. I mean, their defense is really good. I'd like to see Detroit do it, but I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to beat Seattle here.
All right, Casey.
I'm going with Detroit. I also don't think Seattle is as good as
we thought they were.
Not even that. Just as good as their fans think they are, or everyone else thinks they are. Because I don't think we thought they were as good as other people thought they were. So, I think Detroit could pull it out. You know, we've seen that Detroit it feels like a completely different team from past seasons. You know, they've shown that they can come out, they can play football, they can win games. And I think it is, you know, them forcing themselves to have to, you know, spread the ball around to different receivers. You know, that's the one issue with having that one, you know, star receiver is, you know, when you keep going to that same receiver, defenses are going to pick up on that, and then they're going to cover, you know, that one receiver, and you're not going to have anybody else really good to throw to. So I think the Lions are going to go all the way to the Super Bowl. I'm not going to say they're going to win it, but I think they can go all the way.
No. You see, here's what's going to happen here. Okay, so they're you know, Seattle's going to be beating them a little bit. Okay, and then they're going to do that comeback like they did the whole year because, you know, they never really had leads. You know, they had to do the comebacks to get, you know, and then they won the game. So they're going to make you think that they're going to lose, but then they're going to come back. That's what they're going to do.
No.
That's what they're going to do.
But anyway, we got the Miami Dolphins going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Please, Miami, don't you dare let the doggone Steelers go any part of these doggone playoffs. I'm going with the Dolphins. I can't pick the Steelers. I also don't think they're as good as they thought they were. I just don't. I hate them. I get that, but like I just think the most I can't even say overrated. Ben's good, Bell's good, Brown's good. They're all good. But man, let's not act like Jimmy Smith didn't shut down Antonio Brown that first game they played. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm going with the Dolphins though. Please Dolphins. I think the Dolphins could do some things in this game, just in the playoffs. I think finally being in the playoffs, like I think it feels good for their fans. And I think they're going to win this game. I know they're playing in Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh has shown some inconsistencies this year too. So I'm going with the Miami Dolphins. The Fins get the win. Justin.
I'm going to go with Pittsburgh here, but I'm going to put the Dolphins on upset alert because, you know, I mean, they could do something here. I mean, don't underestimate the Miami Dolphins, and, you know, that's my dad's favorite team. And, you know, this is their first playoff since 2008, so that's a really good thing. And so I think if Jay Ajayi can do some pretty good things in this game here, I think that they could win this game. And also maybe Jarvis Landry, and if their defense can hold up. But I'm going to go with Pittsburgh here, though, just because they're playing at home. I'm going with most home teams, just to tell you that right now.
All right, Casey.
I'm also going with Miami.
Hey.
You know, I think if you can, like I was saying before, if you can give Jay Ajayi some running room, he you know, he's shown he's one of the best in the league right now. And you know, the Steelers don't need another Super Bowl win. They just don't. Same with the Patriots. They just don't. They don't. They really don't.
All right. Let's jump into the next one, the last one, which is the New York Giants going up against the Green Bay Packers. Wow, that's a tough one. I'm gonna let y'all go first. That's kind of tough. Justin.
I'm going to go with the Packers here since they're playing at home. I don't know what. I'm going to go with the Packers here. I mean, they ran the They ran not the gauntlet. What am I trying to say here? They ran the table. That's what they ran the table toward the end of the season. You thought they were pretty shitty there at first, like towards the middle of the season, and then they turned it around. So I'm gonna go with the Green Bay Packers to win here, even though I would like to see the New York Giants win this game.
Hey, let's quit acting like the Giants when they get in the playoffs. All they do is win Super Bowls. That's all they do. Like they may miss the playoffs for 10 years, come back and win a Super Bowl. This would be the year.
I told you at the beginning of the season. Since how Peyton Manning got last year, Eli is going to get it this year. I mean, they're going to script the playoffs. I mean, it's going to happen. But I'm going to go with Green Bay here. I'm actually a fan of Green Bay.
God. Anyway, Casey.
I'm gonna go Green Bay too. We did talk about how Peyton and Eli were gonna go back to back, and the Giants do tend to get to the Super Bowl every couple years. About 10. But I still feel like I can't trust them. I don't know. I want to trust them, and I'm going with the Packers though. I don't know.
All right. I'm going with the Giants. The Giants are probably the most dangerous team in the playoffs. As far as if they get in the playoffs, like go hide in the corner in the fetal position because you never know what they're gonna do. And they've proven that they can be successful in the playoffs. And this defense is real good. With those freaking corners they got, I think it's Janoris Jenkins, Eli Apple, which I wish the Ravens would have got. Eli Apple and DRC. Like, and obviously they got their They got that defensive line as always with Pierre-Paul learning how to play without a finger or two. And they do a good job, I think. And I think they got a possibility of winning. I think I wanted the Skins to get the wins. Does that still work? Is that still? I think I wanted the Auros to come in and be in the playoffs because I wanted to see Kirk Cousins in the playoffs. But I think the Giants can still be dangerous. Whoa, wait. What? Oh, God. What is that? Okay. Anyway. But definitely I'm excited for for wild card weekend. I'm excited for wild card weekend. We already gave last week, Justin, we gave our Super Bowl kind of predictions, I guess. From our playoff predictions. So who do you think's going, Justin? That's what I'm going with. Who do you think's going?
Well, I'm hoping it's gonna be I'm hoping it's gonna be my Chiefs and Atlanta. I'm hoping it's them too.
And who wins?
And if I say
my
Chiefs, I'm being biased there.
But you have to pick outside your division.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can't. I had to pick outside my division like I did the whole season. No, but I'm going with my Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. Hopefully, we could do it. I think we can do it though. We got pretty good defense. But I guess we'll just see how the playoffs go though.
All right. Well, that is it for the Baltimore Colts Show, episode 5. It was your wild card prediction show. In the comments below, leave your wild card predictions. Follow us on the Twitter at ICW_podcast and talk to us about, just the NFL in general. Give your season in review for your team in 140 characters or less, obviously. Give your season in review and see how it goes. How did your team do this year? Be sure to share the video as well. Be sure to follow Justin at the True JSB on Twitter and look up his channel at the Juggernauts of the Zeros and Nines and the Sevens and stuff like that.
Make sure to follow DD_Amy_Miley MY.
Yeah, you right. Hashtag Team Diley. But anyway, we'll see you guys later. We do hope you guys enjoyed. Coming up very, very soon, we got another episode of Who Do You Sign? and the obvious weekly things that we do. And yes, Casey, I just answered your question just now. But anyway, we will see you
Right
guys
into
later.
sent it, and then yeah.
We'll see you guys later. This was the Baltimore Coast Show. The Baltimore Coast Show, episode 5. See you later. Peace.